Welcome, PCGers, paper game makers, and all those in the community. Now, for so long, we have been silent, but now, let me ask you something. Feeling tired yet? What is going up, guys? This is the Flamespot here, and we are back with another Paper Games video. And in this video, you can see that there's some things have changed, such as this desk. I am no longer in my regular place. I am now in college and moved in. Everything's great right now. So this is the first paper game on this desk. And around a little bit, I will have the next episode of my OPRPG series coming out. That will be on the old desk. I had it pre-recorded before I came here. I'm just trying to get someone to voice out a line for me right now. So whenever I get that done, then that video will come out. Now, what I meant by are you feeling tired, is that this game is called Insomnia. Now, whenever I made this game, it was in a dark room, it was late at night, and I was really tired. I was just like, I need to write down a paper game. Guess what? It's going to be about sleep. So that's what it is. So this paper game should only be played at dark, or at least in a dark room with only a singular lamp as your only light source. No, just kidding, you guys don't actually have to do that. But that's what I suggest. So let's get on to it. Ooh, look at that. I've never seen that before. So in this paper game, we actually have a grid at the start. It is a 12 by 12 grid, and this is actually important for this paper game. You have to make sure that each of these squares are actually the right size. So if you're using regular college ruled lined paper, each row, so going downwards, each row, I guess it's a column, this is 0.7 centimeters long, or high. So that means that you have to individually place 0.7, or take out a ruler, measure 0.7 centimeters every single line. Or you can just put a rule down, the 0.7, or 1.4, 2.1, and so on, until you get to 12. So you need to make a 12 by 12 grid. During this tutorial thing, you'll see it fast and forward down here. Just me redoing it so you can see it. But that is one of the most important parts. You also need some extra paper that you can cut out because we are going to be making certain boxes for our paper game. Now, let me get my game pieces out. What you'll need to make this game is a variety of different tools, such as scissors to cut out the bottom area, obviously some sort of way to mark colors. So a pencil, Sharpie, highlighters. I use highlighters for this game. But yep, along with a plastic bag. You need a plastic bag that is either black or a plastic bag that you can color in, so that you can hide some things in here. And also one die. So how this game is played is that you are a lowly character. Let's see, right here, and you're sitting on your bed. Now, where you start, you can place your bed anywhere you want. You can place any of these pieces where you want. I'll get more into it later. You're just going to arrange your grid board, put your bed somewhere, put your main character alongside the bed, and you're also going to have different pieces, and these are going to be your toys. You can have as many toys as you want per game, and this represents how many obstacles you have to overcome, more or less. So, you can hide your toys throughout the room. This 12 by 12 area is your room, and for what I use for toys, it's probably a little bit hard to see. I have like a little army man, stick figure, die, stuffed animal, and like a Lego brick right there. It's a little hard to see since you're so far away, but yeah. So we have our character, the bed, and your toys scattered around. Now, I have all these small Tetris pieces. I'm just going to call them Tetris pieces because that's what they're like. And I'm going to place all the ones that are cut out back into the bag. And you can more or less probably see what's going to happen. Everything's sticking to my band-aid. I just cut my finger, actually, right before this video. So, we got this. Alright, so now that all of these pieces are in this board right here, we're going to get on to how to play this game. Alright, so, as you can see, we have our starting location, and we also have our die. Now, the point of this game is to use your character to move up or sideways. You can't go diagonal in this game, by however many numbers, or I guess how many moves you get per the die. So if you roll a 3, then you get to move 3 squares. If you roll rolling 6, then you get to move 6 squares. And every single time you move obviously takes up 1 movement from that number. So the point of the game is to go collect all the toys, and by collecting you have to land on top of that toy. You can move past them if you want, but you just have to land on top of them. Then you can place them down below as you collected them. And after you collected all of these toys, then you have to make it back to your bed, in which you have to land on the bed. You can't be adjacent to it, you have to land on the bed. So that's the point of the game. So it sounds simple enough, but there is a special problem to this game. After each turn that you make, so after you roll and move your place, then you're going to go ahead inside your little Insomnia box and take out a stress key. Because the people who have insomnia are often, they they can't go to sleep, or they wake up a lot and they're under a lot of stress usually. So this is why this is dark. You can't see what you're pulling out. And you're going to pull out a singular piece. So you might pull out 1 or 2. Just take one of them. So in this case I got a 3x1 thing. And what you have to do with this is that you have to place the stress piece anywhere up, down, left, right of your character. It cannot be placed you cannot place it if it is going to go out of bounds. So let's say my character is down here. Let's say I cannot place my stress block right here since it's going out of bounds of the grid area. Which means I have to place it like this. You can place it however you want as long as one of the blocks are touching your character. So even if you want, you can go like this. Now, the problem with this is that the more stress pieces you have, which, every single move you make, the more areas you might block yourself with. So you just have to think about your return path, how you're going to get back to the bed, how you're going to collect the rest of the toys, and how you're going to move to get your toys. Now, let's say you're in a corner somehow, maybe you're just fiendish and you put a toy in, let's say, this corner, so you collect it, and you already have a piece down there, and you roll for another stress block. Well, no matter what, basically, you are trapped because you cannot move. Once when you're trapped and you cannot move anywhere, you are done. You cannot play the game anymore. You lose. If you always have an escape route, then you can keep on playing, but let's just say if you're in this situation, you roll a 1, well, there's no 2x1s, I don't think, that I made, so you'd have to place a piece up here, so you would lose. So that's how you lose the game. You just get trapped inside your own stress boxes and your stress pieces. So, don't worry guys, I'm feeling fine. College is great. Go for it. I just wrote this, I just thought of this game though. Alright, so now this might still seem simple enough because you're constantly moving around the map unless you put a bunch of toys in one area. But you're only going to have sporadic of these stress pieces. I'm just going to pour out the rest of these stress pieces. And to undo this, every 3 or 5 turns, you can choose whatever you want. You get to... Now this might sound simple enough since you are placing your stress pieces every now and again, and you can more or less like adjust them so that they're not like moving anywhere. However, that's where the next mechanic comes in. Every 3 or 5 turns, depending on how hard you are making it each level, you can judge it by yourself. Whenever you make a level, you have something that's called your player shock. So your player goes into complete shock, basically. No, just kidding. That's not true. Your player goes into shock, in which place you have to pull 2 stress pieces out of your bag. Again, without looking, I just have them out here for easy play. And then you have to place them down, and you still have to go to the actual rules in which they have to move somewhere. So let's say this was your situation. Actually, probably a better move would be to place that piece there and this piece down here. However, if you saw my original thought, in which I placed this piece down here, this piece up here, it basically just gets in your way. And if you have like a puzzle or a toy down here, then you just have to go up, and then you have to come back down, or maybe you might get blocked over here, so you have to go around. So it's a pretty big strategy, also luck of whatever stress piece you get. So that's every 3 to 5 moves. You can do that. Alright. And once again, after you collected all the toys, then you must land on the bed. That's pretty much it for the rules. I will have another video probably coming out in a little bit that of me actually going through a lot of my paper games. I know I usually just explain it. Sometimes my explanations aren't good. So I'll actually play through a whole entire playthrough of most of my paper games that I've made in the past at some point, so that you guys can all see an example playthrough, including this game. This one might sound a little bit weird. I should get the instructions. There's not really that many rules or anything on my paper game website, which is in the description, if you would like to see. Now, on to making it. So, like I said, we make a 12 by 12. Now, whenever I like making my paper games, I just always use a ruler because everything is great and makes everything straight. So I'll get back with you when this grid is done. Alright, so now that I have this grid, once again, it's every 0.7 centimeters, not 0.7, yes, I'm actually a little tired still right now, but yes, it's 0.7 of a centimeter, every single one of these lines. Alright, so then after that, basically, I just took whatever's left was of the bottom, and I cut out a small little grid section area, in which I just made another grid, as you can see down here. I'll make just a small one over here, so I'll get back with you in a second. So now that I am done with that grid, I'm going to cut it out real quick. Okay, so now that I have my grid section, now I'm going to take some color devices, literally anything that you might need. Or any pencil, color pencil. First things first, you have to shade in a character piece. Now you don't actually have to use a grid for this one. You can use a Lego stud or like a hair clip. It could be pretty much anything as long as it fits the 0.7 by 0.7 centimeter box. So it's just simple enough just to color in a square for your player. After that, you're just going to look at, so what I did, I just looked up Tetris shapes, and I basically just saw some of these and made my own. Obviously that one's not a Tetris shape, and there is a 2x1 that I did make, but that was just what was left. And basically what you're going to do, you're just going to take your colored pencils or whatever, and you're just going to draw out these Tetris shapes and try to make the most of your paper, because not all of them, well, you might not be able to make that many if you don't draw out, like, or if you don't make yourself a big enough grid for these pieces, and you might not have enough paper for these pieces. So just make the most of it. So I'll try to draw out what I can with these, and I'll see you later. Alright, so I might have been able to actually order that better so that I had more even distribution of these pieces, but you basically get the point. After that, you're just going to cut them all out until you get them into your small little chunks. Also make sure, let's just say if I didn't color that one in, you're going to, whenever you make your toys / your bed, they also have to be on the same grid blocks. The reason why I keep on making sure that it's a 7x7 is if you didn't make these square, then they would not fit correctly on the board. And actually, if you saw my It's a Trap game, you'd actually notice that some of the planes don't fit on my grid board, and that's just because I didn't make the planes through the 7x7 grid boxes. I made them in my own length and width. So basically this just makes everything clean. You can expand the grid as much as you want. I just always think it's easier if you're using the color rule paper. Obviously it's different with white rule. So after you're done cutting them out, you're going to have all your small little pieces, your players, your toys, and your bed. You can just keep on cutting out more paper, since basically all you need is the grid and then your small little pieces. After that, you are going to find a sandwich bag, or maybe just a small Ziploc bag, or anything that you don't mind ever using again, because you are going to take a Sharpie. Pretty much Sharpies are the only thing that works, or you can use some tape, duct tape if you want, to go around so that you cannot see the bottom of this, because whenever you are choosing your shock pieces or your stress pieces, you don't want to be able to see so you can actually like get it. Ideally, it would be greater to have the whole entire bag